Hey everybody, and welcome back to World History. This will be our last section of notes for Chapter 16, so go ahead and get your notes out, and let's get started. So we're really going to be focusing on Russia today. So in 1682, Peter the Great is going to take the throne at the age of 10. Now, he's not going to fully take over until 1689, when he was 17 years old. And by 1697, Peter's going to set out to learn about Western ways of life. He's going to visit factories and art galleries and learn about anatomy as well. And he brought a group of European experts to Russia to help him westernize the country, actually, to help bring Russia into the modern day. So upon his return, Peter brought back technical advisors to carry out his policy of Westernization. He wanted to make Russia like the rest of Europe. In order to persuade his countrymen, Peter had to employ autocratic rule. He brought everything under his control, and he forced the nobles or the boyars to actually serve the government. And in order to get what he wanted, he executed those who opposed him. Now, he's also going to be expanding Russia as well, and you need to control a warm water port in order to expand. One that could be open all year long, and one at the area of Sweden on the Baltic Sea. So he sets out on a war to attain this goal. He wins, and he'll build the city of St. Petersburg, and brought in Italian architects, and this served as his window on the West, essentially, because it overlooked all the Western countries that he was trying to emulate with his changes in Russia. Now, eventually, he's going to continue to expand Russia and send explorers into Siberia. One of them invites Bering, hired by Peter to explore the Pacific coast and what we know today as the Bering Strait. It was named after him. The Russians then expanded into Alaska, and Russian traders built outposts in Alaska and Northern California. This was still prior to the Spanish taking over California and even the United States being established as well. Now, he's going to die in 1725 and leave a little bit of a mixed legacy. He ended Russia's long periods of isolation and expanded the borders. However, many of his ambitions died when he did. Nobles began to ignore his policies, and he had to use force to ensure his power, which widened the gap between Russia and Europe in terms of what needed to be done. But really, it's going to be one of his successors that really changes things for Russia. So, Peter died without an heir, or at least without naming one specifically. In Russia, if you didn't have a direct heir to name, you could then name somebody else. This set off a power struggle in Russia with the Romanov family, and after a few ineffective leaders, the Russian nobles reasserted their power. Then, a new monarch firmly took the throne, Queen Catherine the Great, the greatest empress of Russia. Now, she was efficient and an energetic ruler, and she was massively inspired by the Enlightenment, which we'll actually talk about next chapter. She reorganized the provincial government, codified laws, and started education. And she encouraged a lot of Western ideas like Peter the Great did. She was a student of the French thinkers who led the Enlightenment like Voltaire and Rousseau, who we'll talk more about, like I said, next chapter. Now, Catherine didn't take nothing from nobody. She was very ruthless in her ruling. She would exempt the boyars from taxes and let them increase their power against the peasants. Now, the peasants would eventually revolt, as one would expect, and Catherine would then make their lives worse. She was determined to expand her borders and even fought the Russo-Turkish War against the Ottomans and seized land from Poland to further expand Russia. Now, by the 1770s, Catherine, Frederick II of Prussia, and Joseph II of Austria, two of the other enlightened despots that we'll talk about again next chapter, all wanted parts of Poland. And to avoid fighting each other, they literally just carved up Poland. And Catherine took eastern Poland for Russia. Poland would remain like this until 1919 after World War I, when it would become independent. But that's over 150 years away. Okay, so that is it for notes for today. What you need to do today is the constitutionalism comparison and the short answer responses on the absolutism packet. This has been the end of the chapter, so your notes are also due today. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.